cultural heart of New Orleans, Treme is considered the oldest black neighborhood in America. The origin of the Southern Civil Rights Movement, and the birthplace of jazz.
I don't want to say it doesn't get older than Treme, but it really doesn't get older than Treme. The French-Spanish Creoles, the white folks, were moving into Faubourg-Marigny. But that was pricey, and you still had the whole white people not wanting to live with black people thing, right? So free blacks were looking for a place to live that was close to the quarter, that was affordable housing. Treme was the place to do it. So Treme becomes basically a free black neighborhood in the late 1830s into the 1840s. The church decides to build the big cemetery in what is now Treme, okay, and that's St. Louis Cemetery number 1, and then of course that grows back into St. Louis and Conti and St. Louis number 2. So just the cemeteries, of course, attract people because they're going to visit the family and that kind of thing. They build a Catholic church, that's St. Augustine's Church.
Established in 1841, St. Augustine is the oldest African American church in the nation. It has been a church of and for the free black citizens of New Orleans since its creation.
That community starts becoming a force to reckon with in the community and in the city in terms of city politics and that kind of thing. One of the community leaders at the time, or community activists in the 1890s, was a guy named Homer Plessy. So Homer Plessy buys a railroad ticket from Treme, basically from the train station over to Covington, buys a ticket in the white compartment, gets arrested, and that becomes the Plessy versus Ferguson decision that starts Jim Crow.
The Jim Crow segregation laws were overruled by the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But it took many years of action and court challenges to unravel the numerous means of institutional discrimination.
All right. New Orleans in the house tonight. Tonight. We wanna start this thing. All right, y'all. All right. New Orleans in the house tonight, y'all. Tonight. Start this thing. All right. All right. New Orleans in the house tonight. Tonight. Come on, Ben.
But then you had Storyville on the other side. And Storyville, of course, was one of those social experiments, right?
Storyville was the red light district of New Orleans from 1897 to 1917. It was established by a municipal ordinance under the New Orleans City Council to regulate prostitution and drugs. The nickname Storyville was in reference to City Councilman Sidney Story, who wrote the legislation and guidelines for Storyville. By the end of the 19th century, Storyville had carved out much of the upper part of the Treme. And in the 40s, almost all of it was torn down and made into public housing.
And I don't know if you see pictures of North Claiborne Avenue in the 40s and 50s, but it's gorgeous. I mean, big oak trees. It makes South Claiborne Avenue today look just like low rent. You know, it's the big, wide, neutral ground, the Circle Food store there, the whole, it's just a gorgeous neighborhood. Now, you think of going under the overpass, and the band, the second line bands are playing. You know, the brass bands make noise underneath it. You know, that's about the only good thing about it is the echo off of the interstate. You know. Treme's become quite the thing now. In terms of just a whole bunch of different people want to live there.
The Treme is just as much about the past as it is about the future. Its ability to balance forward-thinking development with deep neighborhood pride, and its ever-changing tides that have literally shaped the course of events in Black America for the past 200 years.